So I'm Janet Raye Stevens, and I'm going to read a little bit from the opening of my World War II set paranormal mystery, suspense I should say, A Moment After Dark. It's set in a fictional version of Gloucester in December of 1941, and it focuses on Addie Brandt, who fears and has been mocked for her strange ability to see the future with just a touch. This is the opening scene where we meet Addie and find out what her power can do. Monday, December 1st, 1941. Addie Brandt dragged the tall stool close to the coffin and studied the man lying peacefully inside. "Now, what can I do for you, Mr. Gallagher?" she murmured. Not much, she feared. Old Gallagher was no John Barrymore, not even Lionel Barrymore with his basset hound looks. Addie retrieved her makeup basket. Try as she might with her paints and powders, she wouldn't be able to make Johnny Gallagher any less unattractive in death than he had been in life. That irked her. She'd been fond of the man. He wasn't like the others. He didn't stare or run away when he saw her. He'd always given her a kind smile. She'd feasted on those smiles. For that, she owed him a face as handsome as Errol Flynn for his funeral. She perched on the stool and got to work. When she finished, she combed the man's few wisps of grayish hair, then reached for his silver tie pin on the counter. She touched it and gasped. Icy cold latched onto her fingers, shivered up her arm, and spread through her veins like a living thing. "Dear Lord, please, no." Her silent plea went unheeded as the strange power that lived deep within her took hold of her waking mind. 1,000 needles stabbed her brain. Her vision narrowed and the world went black as she plummeted into the gaping abyss of the sight. A moment later, the darkness peeled away, like sections of an orange breaking off until she looked up at a sky so blue it stung her eyes. She could taste its sharpness. She smelled warm sea air, mixed with hot metal, oil, gunpowder. Sleepy voices surrounded her, men just waking up. Heat baked her skin and bounced off metal walls of hard steel, joined together with rivets. Looking down, Addie saw she had a man's legs, wearing white trousers. A uniform? An angry buzz droned overhead. She squinted into the sun as a swarm of metal locusts came into view. "What in holy hell?" A man's rough voice came out of her mouth. Airplanes. They flew in formation, 10, 12, maybe more. Sunlight glinted off their wings. The first wave broke off and swooped in. The buzz became a roar. An explosion rattled Addie's bones. She staggered. Smoke billowed, choking her. Men screamed and shouted in confusion and panic. Pain. A man in a once white Navy uniform, now covered with soot, pounded up. "Jimmy, it's the Japanese," he cried, and scurried away. Jimmy. Addie had slipped into the skin of a man named Jimmy on a ship somewhere, choking on smoke so thick and slick with oil she could almost taste it, strangling on her own fear. One thought pushed through the chaos. "I've got to man my gun." She plowed through the smoke, her shoes beating the deck. Another explosion, like the fury of hell blasting open. The ship heaved. No, it lifted, as if a giant hand scooped it up, then dropped it into the water again. She fell with a thud onto the deck. Heat seared her palms, scorched through her trousers, and singed the skin off her knees. Nearby, a man wearing a suit of flames leapt overboard. She managed to stand. She shaded her eyes from the glare and looked up. A plane dove through the smoke, the red circle of Japan like an angry eye on its side. "Mother Mary," she prayed. Staccato flashes of machine gun fire cut through the noise. Hot beads of metallic hail pinged the deck. 1,000 knives of fire pierced her chest. And then, nothing. Well,
Wow, that was so good. Nice
so from
reading.
here we follow Addie's journey as she grapples with her own fear of her power, and she sets out to raise the alarm, which brings her to the attention of a federal agent who's seeking people with paranormal powers like her, and of course a cunning Nazi spy.